Issa Chiruma have declared himself the winner of the presidential election in his house, in a speech where he declared himself as having won the popular vote. We are monitoring the election results that are coming in. We don't have the capacity to have the total result, but based on the information on the ground, Issa Chiruma is winning the popular vote. We're going to play you the speech in his residence where he is declaring himself as the winner of the elections in Cameroon. So I'm going to play the video so that you watch. In his house, he has received visitors. In Marua, Garua, or the far north of Cameroon, we are seeing people on the street mobilizing themselves to show support for Issa Chiruma. He is calling for people to mobilize themselves to defend their vote, which is the right thing to do, which is something we didn't see from Maurice Kamto calling for people to defend their candidature. He's even pronounced that he has a planned visit to Idea, which is quite a significant move. This is not what we have seen in Cameroon in the previous elections. In previous elections, those who are expected to win the popular vote have been intimidated by gendarmes. Their house have been surrounded by the military. They have been kept under house arrest and harassed on every twist and turn. We usually have seen that during the elections. During previous elections, the votes count are always in favor of the main opposition until the end, where large sum of unjustified vote will come from the northern part of Cameroon to put Biya above the line. That is what happened to John Fundi. But in this time, the Grand North is totally in support of Issa Chiruma. So we don't know what manipulation or what magic they can use to rig the election. The few rigging we have seen in Batibo where CPDM has won, in the heart of ADF, I mean ADF of Ayabacho, that is where CPDM have won. This time, however, we are seeing something different. There has been not the same clampdown on supporters on the street. There have not been massive deployment of military to block people from going to the streets around the house of Issa Chiruma. Issa Chiruma has been allowed to speak openly, receive visitors, gather supporters heavily. So we have not seen the type of heavy-handed reaction from the Cameroon regime. Might be they thought that because Maurice Kamto will be blocked, they were not preparing to rig the election. Might be because of that they have been caught off guard. In any case, I want you to watch the speech of Issa Chiruma. So this is but I want to point out that observation. This is a small but notable sign that the political atmosphere in Cameroon is shifting. Things have changed. Even if it is just a slight significant change that we observe, it is worth noting that things have changed. It shows that there is a glimpse of hope for change in Cameroon. There is a glimpse of hope that for the past years of stagnation, we could be witnessing something new, something different. And this should give every Cameroonian hope wherever you may find yourself. So let us watch the video of this film.
Je peux vous dire que le vote populaire, nous l'avons gagné. Le vote populaire, nous l'avons gagné. Personne ne peut nous battre à travers les urnes. Personne. Et toute la classe politique s'accorde à dire que cette victoire, non seulement nous l'avons gagnée, il faut mobiliser le peuple qui a voulu le changement, le mobiliser, en faire un partenaire déterminé et décidé à défendre la victoire telle qu'elle se sera prononcée à travers les urnes. Les gens sont là, qui nous attendent. Je pense que demain ou après-demain, peut-être demain, aujourd'hui c'est lundi, personne ne peut nous vaincre. Nous devons continuer tout de suite à EDA parce que nos camarades à EDA veulent me voir, veulent qu'on échange quelque chose. Je préconisais de pouvoir continuer sur Garoua parce que nous avons deux très grands meetings. Rousseau nous a lancé un défi, mais on va lui démontrer que dans une certaine mesure, il a encore à apprendre des anciens. Quand je suis arrivé, j'ai vu ce que j'ai vu. La foule était tellement abondante que je ne pouvais même pas sortir. Et dit oui, il s'est frotté à un juge. Il verra bien ce sera la réplique. Merci beaucoup en tout cas, le MSNC désormais existe. Partout où je passe, c'est précis.
So I think Cameroonian across the globes and where which has people have been looking for change in Cameroon from the stagnation of having the oldest president who is 93 years old, a president who, if he succeeds to secure another term, might be over 100 years by the time he finishes that term. That is ridiculous. Issa Chiruma have said that nobody can defend the regime anymore. The daughter of Paul Biya have come out to say that people should not vote for the father. That speaks volume of what we observe. Issa Chiruma have declared himself the winner of the popular vote. We are still observing the elections that come in. We believe that he has won the popular vote based on what we see coming on the ground. But we want to explain to our people at this very important moment about the electoral process for them to have a clear picture, to know what to expect in the coming days, because it's important that you know what to anticipate. In elections in Cameroon, after the elections, when those elections results have been counted, the ballots have been counted on each divisions, those votes now will be accumulated in divisional level, and the electorate will collect the result from divisional level. They will know the exact result, then they will send it now to the national level in Yaoundé, where the electorate executive will sit down, look at the result that have come in, and then the electorate will now make the official announcement of the elections. That usually takes 7 to 10 days, according to past experiences in Cameroon. But the requirement, which is not a law, is that within 10 days, you should know who is the winner of the election in Cameroon. So within 7 to 10 days, we expect to hear an official announcement from the Cameroon Electoral Board, the electorate. So we will expect that. We expect that this should take at least 10 days. It should take maximum. So we should be prepared for this short wait. It is not a long period of time. But for the meantime, we expect many other platforms that have capacity, that has put in mechanism to be able to get the polling, to hear them also announce their own result. But we want people to know that any announcement are not official. The CPDM has not made their own announcement, but political parties are allowed to express their own expectation from the results, to expect their, because they have representative of each polling station, so they have the capacity to give those results. So if the result is accepted, once it is announced by electorate, then it should be smooth. So we have 10 political parties. If all of them accept the result, they will now move to inaugurations. Inauguration takes place a month after the elections, and then swearing in. Inauguration and swearing in. That is the process that have been taking place in Cameroon. So from the day of election, 1 month you have inauguration and swearing in. That is the usual timeline historically in Cameroon, and that has been the practice in Cameroon. So expect that during this period. But if one of the opposition party that are participating in the election decided to challenge the election or to point out irregularities, they will make that submission to electorate and elect before the electorate have the result. But usually they will not. They will wait and take it to the Constitutional Council. So any challenge will go before the Constitutional Council. The Constitutional Council is a bench of the Supreme Court. So you will go to the Supreme Court, the Constitutional Council. If anybody challenges the election, whether it is CPDM or a challenge, then it will not go directly to inauguration. It will go to the Constitutional Council. Now we know this council, the Constitutional Council, we all know it in Cameroon. This is a council that we know that the judges are all appointed by Paul Biya, and they can be dismissed by him. So we all know that they are always aligned to the head of state in Cameroon, because they are close allies to him. They are people he trusted. They were never vetted by the parliament. They were never chosen by any board of ministers. They were appointed by Paul Biya. The head is an old person like Paul Biya, and is believed to be his childhood friends. We have seen in the past, in the case of Maurice Kamto, that this body, the Constitutional Council, has made decision that has raised question about their impartiality and the way the judges are nominated. We don't have people like Ayapo sitting on that bench. The way the judges are nominated, the way they are come to power, shows that they are going to align themselves with the ruling party. So if there is any challenge in the election, whether from the CPDM or the FSCN of Issa Churuma, we need to be prepared that inauguration can be postponed. You have a longer period if there is a challenge, because they will need additional time for technical procedure to go ahead to determine who is indeed the winner. We saw in the case of Frundi that it took a long time, and it may add few weeks before final resolution. So if you expect a resolution, a new president in 1 month, it may take 1.5 months. But typically, in an event of a dispute, we generally see the final outcome within 1 month, still within that period of 1 month. And then you have the swearing-in ceremony that will take place maximum 6 weeks in Cameroon. The maximum in her state is 6 weeks. So expect the new president, a new mandate in Cameroon within 6 weeks. PRAP will be giving our own announcement of who we believe has won the election and what the outcome will ultimately be subsequently, as we navigate this period and we look ahead for the official result to be announced. I want to leave you with the vision of our PRAP, our organization, People's Right Advocacy Platform, what we stand for. We advocate for people's right all over Africa, and in Cameroon in particular, where we are based. In Cameroon in particular, our vision is very, very clear, which we want you to know. We are calling for, in whatever circumstances, for a joint transitional government in Cameroon that includes all political parties in Cameroon and bring all stakeholders in Cameroon together. The people of Cameroon deserve an end of political violence. They deserve an end of fighting, an environment where debates about their future, about their livelihood, about government policies can happen without anyone being stigmatized or treated as an enemy, where the military and the instruments of the states can be held accountable, where we will not witness torture like the case of Longue, with nobody being held accountable, with occasions like the burning of houses in southern Cameroon and the torture of students in Boya will never happen, where you will never have the case of Martinez Zogo ever happen. The English journalists who had disappeared, disappearance will not happen anymore. Civilian authorities could be able to supervise the law enforcement. We believe Cameroon needs a new future, one where tolerance and democracy can truly thrive, where freedom for the common man is guaranteed, is protected, not by their relative who is in the government, but by system put in place to ensure justice and accountability for every state official, where transparency is at the heart of governance. This can only happen if the next government is a joint one, an inclusive one that brings all the major political voices and political powers in Cameroon on the table to build a country and a new government for the future of trust in Cameroon. Imagine a government where there is Maurice Kamto in the judiciary, where Issa Chiruma is in the government, where Agbobala, Akiremuna, where all the political parties that we have seen are involved in ministries. You have increased transparency, increased accountability, and the budget will actually have an impact on the life of the people. So, as we all await the result, the official result of the elections in Cameroon, whatever may follow, let us hold on to this vision of PRAP. Let us continue to push for a Cameroon where everyone sits at the table, where voices truly count, where advocacy truly counts, where lawyers are truly respected, where the police are there truly to protect the population. That is the vision we expect, and that is the vision we are pushing and hoping for. And for all those who are believers, where mans fail and where expectations are not met, we believe that God can intervene. Thank you very much.